Hey, 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 we got another live stream going down. Right now we're gonna be on live talking about the recent news that came through on the football scene, on the college football scene. We had a post released by JUCO Football Frenzy saying that JUCO players would no longer have any of their time spent at JUCO developing counted toward their eligibility once they leave junior college. So once they leave JUCO, they could go to another university and take advantage of all 4 years of eligibility. So we just checking out Twitter here, man. I got a few tweets coming through where people just expressing how they feel about it, how they actually feel like this could impact college football and the recruiting scene for high school athletes, and pretty much anywhere from JUCO, D1, D2, D3, and even down to NAIA. So one of the things y'all notice here is the jokes that's coming through. But we're gonna go through and just gonna check into a bunch of other people. I know y'all know Coach Jason Brown with Last Chance U. He's been sounding off about it, so we want to just check in and see what he has to say. Let's see.
We'll have to look back at it in a year. All right, man. Listen, Diego Pavia has filed a suit, and the court case was ruled on. And apparently, junior college eligibility will not count against your four-year eligibility. This is a huge issue. A lot of people out here are liking it. Right now, that I'm looking into it, as the same day the national championship, Hutch versus Iowa Western, is being played, this rule has come down. And listen, a lot of people on social media are tagging me because of my JUCO association. But listen, I'll be breaking this down tomorrow on the Coach AB show with Big Smitty. I don't like it right now. I think it's going to implode high school recruiting even further. It'll implode JUCO. This is the beginning of the end of junior college as we know it.
Wow.
And I don't believe the NCAA, the non-caring assholes of America, again, have not forward thought this. They're making these haste decisions to enhance the portal, which will eventually dry out. And you will need fresh blood in high school and JUCO kids. So this is going to eliminate Division I transfers to bounce back into JUCO, which used to be the portal as we knew it. Now it's the portal that sits there with 6,000 kids in it. Mind you, there's only 131 Division I playing schools, so do the math. These kids are sitting there for no reason. Now you can go JUCO for 2 years. It doesn't count against your eligibility. Is that a good or a bad thing? First of all, can you redshirt in JUCO? Does it count? Are they going to eliminate transfer courses? So I can see the NCAA eliminating transfer classes from junior college to the four-year level. This is a huge
I wonder why he
issue.
said that.
I'm reading into it as we speak, but as of right now, I don't believe the NCAA has forward thought this. I believe this is another huge, grave mistake. I believe high school recruitment will die. I believe that junior college will implode even further, and you will not have a junior college national championship in the next few years. You're going to have more of a developmental league. And unless you're a hustler like myself, are you going to create some sort of pipeline to, let's say, a Bill Belichick in North Carolina, where I'm just sending developmental stage players to him to basically play and then get ready for the NFL? I don't know, but this seems to be a huge oversight, in my opinion. Again, the NCAA has the lack of foresight. They don't look forward and think this thing through. This can eliminate football as we know it going forward. Play your games. If you go JUCO, you win JUCO for a reason. Now you're going to play 6 years. I don't want to see eighth-year players at the four-year level. This is why the NFL quarterback position is so bad. We don't develop anymore. We're just allowing these kids to go from school to school to school to school, chasing a bag. This is just enhancing the portal. It's
There's
a
a
bad
lot of
decision
coaches
as
that
of
feel that
today,
way.
which is the day of this ruling.
And this
So
is not just at the
we'll have to look
collegiate
back at
level.
it in a year and really look at it and say, what was it done for? But as of today, right now, as this ruling has come out, I think it's a bad one, man. So many great junior college players have came through the pipeline, from Aaron Rodgers to Cam Newton to John Madden to you name it. Um, and they played their 2 years. They went to 4 year level and they played, and then they went on. Now we're going to give them 6, 7, 8 years. Seems to be a joke and a mockery in my point of view. But anyway, we'll be breaking this down tomorrow on the Coach JB Show with Big Smitty. Stay tuned. But a lot of things are going on. It's the wild, wild west, man. Strap in. Peace.
Wow, that was a lot to take in, y'all. So we just heard Coach JB's piece on it. Um, Man, one of the things that he mentioned that I hadn't even taken into account was that they may start something to where the JUCO level programs aren't able to transfer classes into the 4 year programs. I'm not sure if that might be an attempt to make it so that athletes can't benefit as much from the progression in degrees. I mean, once you graduate from JUCO, you get your associate's degree most of the time. Um, and of course, if you have 4 more years of eligibility at the next level, then that gives you an opportunity to get your bachelor's degree and then to follow up with possibly a master's degree, if especially if you're already coming from a scene where you've gotten your associate's degree. So that's yeah, that's pretty big to think of it that way. Because that automatically makes me feel like, okay, if they might not transfer the credits over to the 4 year universities, are they saying that uh, junior colleges are not going to give athletes associate's degrees? I mean, because you wouldn't necessarily be just transferring the credits. That would be an earned degree. So it'll be interesting to figure out how they plan on attacking that if indeed that's an issue. One of the other things he mentioned was the high school recruiting scene. Now, initially, I'm not gonna lie, I thought that this might be a good opportunity for high school athletes, and this is simply because when they announced the changes to the transfer portal, there was a bunch of rulings where kids were now going to be able to bounce back and forth from schools. Y'all know, like every time the transfer portal opens up, we see a ton of athletes switching up like every year. I know some guys that have transferred schools like every single year since high school. So, to me, that would have put a bunch of the high school kids that weren't necessarily ranked with rivals, like 3, 4, 5 star kids that may have slipped, through the recruiting cracks. A lot of times, depending on what your school may have as far as media or a recruiting coordinator, that might dictate whether or not you get an opportunity at the next level. It may not just come down to whether or not you have the talent. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of athletes are kind of confusing when it comes down to sports and the entertainment business. It's not always about your talent and how much talent you have. It may necessarily be more along the lines of who you know. I mean, we know that tends to be the case even when we're out here working in the industry now. Like, do you know someone that can drop a line at the CEO's office for you, or HR, or if there's someone who can slide your resume to the top of the list. So that rings true in sports and entertainment too, and very much so in the recruiting side of things. So it'll be interesting to see how this helps or hurts high school recruiting. I felt like this might be an opportunity for high school guys to actually stand a fighting chance against the portal, and seeing if they could actually get an opportunity to play maybe development 2 years in JUCO, develop a bit, and then get out there and try their luck again at the recruiting scene as an older individual. You might stand a lot better chances getting into the next level if you actually have better measurables and stuff. A lot of high schoolers come out, they're maybe 5'11", they haven't hit their growth spurt. By the time they finish up a couple years in JUCO, they've packed on maybe 20, 30 pounds. They've grown, maybe maxed out their height at maybe 6 foot, 6'1". So those are the things that might help, or in my opinion, might have helped a lot of high school students so far since the transfer portal opened up. Without this new ruling, I've ran into so many high school athletes that are confused about where their next steps should be if they haven't been heavily recruited by some, D1 school. If that's the case, a lot of the guys are going D2, a lot of guys are going NAIA their first year, and a lot of guys are still taking the JUCO route. Now, I'm thinking this is gonna definitely make it so that the high school students can get in there, get that development, get out to the next 4 year level. But talking with a few other coaches and stuff today, they did bring up something to my attention that I hadn't thought about, and I saw that Coach JB brought that up too, and that was the instance of maybe this would cause a shift in how JUCO is used and how the other schools utilize JUCO. So, like he mentioned, now we used to have those prep high schools where if your kid didn't get anywhere out of high school, maybe you can have them do an extra year at a high school prep school to kind of get them ready for maybe another year of seeing if they can get recruiting going. With the new ruling with JUCO, that would mean that maybe JUCO will be turned into the new high school prep, like JB said. A lot of these schools, it might not be an instance where they're coming out of high school and going into JUCO. You may have a guy at Alabama, that they picked up, and then they're just like, oh, this kid needs a little bit more time to grow. He's getting into trouble, not getting his grades, whatever may be. If that's the case, that means that Alabama could send that kid to a JUCO for 2 years to have the JUCO people deal with all the issues and babysit and mold the kid, and then have them agree to shift that kid back to Alabama after they've done the development work. So you never know. This could shift things to where now people are using the JUCO route as a way to develop kids and not lose any of that eligibility. That would be crazy to be at the junior college level and being able to hit that pause button at any time. Because I'm thinking you could revert back to JUCO at any moment. So, you could be a second year student at another school. You haven't received any, type of degree yet. And if that's the case, you could go back to JUCO, I'm assuming, and then go ahead and spend that time in JUCO on a squad developing and hit the pause button. That would never count against, your eligibility. So when you finish with that, you bounce back to a D1, or maybe you get a better deal at a different D1. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see. It's gonna be interesting to see. Let's see what else they got cooking in here. Well, we got William Payne, Coach William Payne. He said that he's excited about 4 years of NCAA eligibility. He says that it's a game changer. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Man, I know a lot of dudes that probably wish this was done maybe 2 to 3 years earlier. Check this out. They said with the new NCAA ruling regarding eligibility, Miles Kittlesman has another year of eligibility. So they looking to bring him back with the Tennessee Vols. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Now we've got Joshua Caraway that's shedding a little bit more light on what might be going on. So he said, Coach Caraway stated that yes, Diego Pavia was granted another season of eligibility. No, JUCO players don't automatically have extra eligibility. The ruling from the courts affects only him as of now. Yes, this will drastically change eligibility rules. Let's see, moving forward. Make wise choices, and if you have a committable offer, I get in that boat yesterday. So you heard Coach Caraway. Things is about to get shook up out here, y'all. Like I can only imagine. I had a ton of guys that were reaching out, kind of scared after the new roster cap limits came out. So for FBS, you had the 105 limit. For FCS, you had the 85 limit. And so, everybody was worried about if this was going to kill the walk-on experience at the college football level. We know a lot of great walk-ons that got their start, and now they're big time contributors at universities. One of the ones that come to mind is Josh Cameron. He's over at Baylor, really excelling. He was a walk-on. Now he's been linked to the conference All-American team this season. He's been putting up big numbers on punt return. We also have Michael Taft from the University of Texas that was a priority walk on. He put up major numbers this season. He was named to the SEC All American team. So, we definitely want to encourage that story to keep going. There's so many kids that don't necessarily get picked up, and that doesn't mean that they're not great players. It just, like I said, it means that it just wasn't their time and space during that recruiting time. So it is something that I would like to see continue happen. Like I would love to see guys get an opportunity to walk on and let them battle in the trenches with the other players that have scholarships, and let them, deserve it. Let them earn a shot at getting on the squad. Now, I do think that this is probably going to hinder a lot more of the FBS schools, the top ones at least. Um, because of course I don't see them utilizing any of that space for walk-ons if they could pretty much take 105 scholarship players and they could afford it. Like Alabama is not going to have any problem paying for 105 athletes. They're just not. I do think that some of the lower level schools, some of the lower level FCS schools and so forth that struggle with, donations, sponsors, things like that, they don't have a lot of NIL money to give out to these kids to get them to come out to their programs or entice them to come out. So I do think even though the NCAA increased the number of scholarship players that they can have from 65 to 85, I still believe that there's going to be some issues getting the money to support those 20 additional full scholarships. So if you do have schools like some of the lower level, maybe HBCU programs, Mississippi Valley State, things like that, I do believe that those are still going to be schools that can keep the walk on story alive. So this might be a good opportunity for HBCUs and some of the other lower level FCS schools to hit the portal and start grabbing kids that could help you in the long run. It's a lot of eligibility floating out here. A lot of walk-ons that are great out here. A lot of transfer kids that are in the portal that's stuck there. Man, the number is up. Like you heard JB mention before, the number is up to like 6 to 7K of kids that are just sitting in the transfer portal. Uh, you got Coach Carmichael sounded off. He said this is an absolute joke and completely screwing over high school kids again. And I'm guessing he mean again by the whole transfer portal being in existence at any form. He said, so let me understand. Screw around in high school and get bad grades. Go JUCO, bring your grades up while playing, and lose no eligibility. Meanwhile, 3.9 students out of high school can't get on the roster. Wow, man. He just said a mouthful with that. I do believe that that's another aspect that we may have to explore. You do risk. Now, I'm not saying every kid that go to JUCO got horrible grades, and I know this for a fact because I considered myself going to a JUCO. I considered signing with Meridian Community College here in Mississippi. And I was practically a 4.0 student. So I do know that a lot of times people choose that route as a way for them to develop and not so much as a way to escape doing their schoolwork. But nonetheless, we do know that it's a few that bounce over to the JUCO lane because they don't handle business in high school. And if that is the case, making a ruling like this, where kids are able to not do their schoolwork, bounce into JUCOs without any kind of, restrictions or any kind of basically limitations, hand spankings for doing this. If there's no way that they're going to lose eligibility or anything, then to me, you losing the student aspect of being an athlete. You're going to have kids that no longer care about how they perform in high school if they could still get to a JUCO, save those those 2 years just for developing and getting it in gear, and then get over to a 4-year university. Now, to be honest with you, I've seen a lot of these kids. I can tell you right now, if you got a kid that's going to skip out on doing his work in high school just so he can plank it, then get to JUCO and bring it up, I highly, highly, highly don't think that's going to be the case. Most of these students that leave out of high school and they have in their mind they're not going to even remotely try to do their schoolwork, that's probably the same energy they gonna keep up at the JUCO level and at any other level. Because I mean, to me, that says a lot about your work ethic in the first place. But nonetheless, we know that there's a lot of universities, a lot of programs that actually placate to some of these kids who are like have crappy, shitty work ethic. I'm just gonna say it. Some of these kids got some shitty work ethic and they keep getting NIL money shuffled at them and all this other stuff. And it's pretty much reinforcing that they continue to have shitty work ethic. But we shall see how it actually plays out. So yeah, y'all, they just reporting it basically. So yeah, we got one dude called D Block Davo Migo. He said JUCO years don't count towards your 4-year eligibility clock. I played 2 seasons in JUCO and dropped out. So my clock hadn't even started yet. I'm going back to college to chase my dreams. I'm 26, by the way. I hope Davo trolling, Davo, whatever his name. I hope he trolling y'all. But this does bring up a very valid point. I know a lot of coaches, that's the thing. They don't we don't really want to see these 30, 40-year olds playing no college football. And that makes me think a lot too. Like you got these kids that's sitting up in school for 8 or 9 years. What's that's gonna do about the young cats making it to the NFL? So you coming out in NFL like at 30? Like that's usually when dudes be retiring. So now you're gonna have these dudes like what would make them an attractive NFL pick is what I'm thinking. Like I'm thinking dude about 26 years old, he already kind of hitting his prime when he hit the league. So I don't know, y'all. This just all sound a bit whack. It's a lot to take in. It's just a lot. You got this dude Jason Tomlinson. He kind of tried to break down some possible scenarios. You got a 2 years of JUCO, 4 years NAIA, one red shirt, one medical red shirt, 4 years of NCAA. Dude over 30 out here playing for eligibility. Now, I'm looking at Jason over here. And so I'm like, he got up here 2 years of JUCO, 4 years of NAIA, one red shirt, one medical red shirt, and then 4 years of NCAA. So I'm taking from that is Jason saying that if you play NAIA ball, that there it does not count against your NCAA eligibility, because that's something new for me. That's something new for me. If y'all know something different, let me know. Cause I thought even if you play NAIA ball, that you still that counted towards your eligibility. So if we out here playing 4 years of NAIA and still got a whole 4 years of NCAA left, y'all tell me something. Yeah, Lucas, man, I'm telling you, this is really going. I see you in the chat, man. This really gonna change things. This really gonna shake stuff up for the JUCO route. I know a lot of people are already saying, man, this is gonna put JUCO coaches back into the development stage hardcore. Like we about to have universities and colleges recycling kids through JUCO just to get them prepared and working out all kind of side deals to get them back to their program once they're developed. So yeah, it's we already kind of have a feeding frenzy when it come back to college football because of the whole transfer portal. Y'all heard what Dion said. He mentioned earlier. He said, "Hey, this is exactly what y'all see it as, and that's free agency every single year for these athletes." So that's something to remember. I mean, he actually drew it up pretty down to the T, y'all. He said it. It's like, hey, we knew what it was from the jump, and he said that's why Colorado has been prepared for this thing since it jumped off. He like, hey, I treated it as free agency, and that's how we moved. He said I've been moving that way since I've been coaching my kids when they was 5. He said they used to run the other teams and steal their players. Like that's free agency. He was like, when you a private, you coaching private, the portal is public schools. You go snatch the kids out the public schools and bring them to the private school and build it up. So it sounds like this been going on for a long time now. It's just getting a lot of traction, and I guess people just now talking about it. But it sounds like this been going on for a minute. So let's go on through here, see what else we can see. Man, I'm actually gonna shout out a couple of these kids out here too. That's out here at the JUCO, man. Might be some dimes up in here. If we get 4 extra years, y'all might be able to pick up some dimes off this one. Dude don't look pretty bad. 6 foot, 190. Nice little catch right there. I got Luke Rosinski. He basically echoing what the other guy said up top, and that's that it's inaccurate to believe that all athletes are going to be able to play JUCO and get that eligibility back. He said that this is only pertaining to that one incident with the Vanderbilt QB, and it's not pertaining to across the board to everybody, just Pavia. Now, this does open up the door for other people to probably take this to court and try to get their eligibility too. But I mean, most of y'all who ain't got the money to get to school, you probably ain't gonna have no money to retain no legal people to be trying to fight for you to get no extra eligibility. So I'm just saying. So they said if the NCAA or the NJCAA does pass this ruling, if this goes across the board, they just going through here saying how many dominant players will still have like 3 to 4 years of eligibility left. As you know, that's the one they bringing up right here, baby. Dang Gators gonna try to get all the help they can get, baby. We got Aaron Torres. He was just talking about listening to Coach JB break down the Diego Pavia ruling. And he was like, so, basically a kid can come out of high school, red shirt as a freshman, play 2 years, go to JUCO and stop their eligibility clock, and then come back to FBS football as a 6 and 7 year senior. He said the Pandora box is officially open. Now, I do know that this is probably going to be something that's going to require a lot of litigation, y'all. You're going to really have to take this on a case by case kind of scenario. I think you're going to have to get out there and take these folks to court individually if you planning on trying to get some extra eligibility. Overall, they may change the rule. Y'all know things been changing quick with these rules when it come to the NCAA and the eligibility and everything. The transfer portal spun up. It got crazy. Then everything else started changing. Roster limits, all kinds of stuff. So y'all know, man, it's been crazy real quick this year for college football. So it's not to say that we might not have this ruling. Let's see what Matt Jones talking about.
So they're saying that a court has ruled that junior college athletes can retain all 4 years of their eligibility even if they play a year or two of JUCO? My goodness. If this is the case and if this decision is upheld, this is huge. It's huge for the athletes in college because you can play 1 or 2 years of JUCO ball and you still have all 4 years to play at a 4-year school. But this could be a blow to high school athletes. Not the elite, not the 5-star, the 4-star, the
That's
all-American.
what
No,
I'm
it won't
talking about,
affect them.
y'all.
But that player that's a good high school player, not elite, but good, this could be big. Because as a college coach, what are you going to do? Are you going to recruit a 17, 18-year-old high school kid with 4 years to play? Or a kid that's been at JUCO and they're 20 now and they also have 4 years? This is a
No
game
brainer.
changer. If this is upheld, this is a game changer. It'll change the landscape of recruiting because now college coaches may go straight to JUCO to recruit instead of high school. Hope not, because that's a big blow for high school recruiting.
Man, a
But hey,
humongous
it may
blow.
also be time to start televising these junior college games as well. What does this do to the landscape of recruiting?
Wow. Y'all, I'm of the opinion they should have been televising JUCO games heavily. Like JUCO has always been a big part of sports, like from basketball, football. Like people have always had an emphasis on JUCO athletes. So I don't know why JUCO ain't been getting as much love. I don't know why a lot of kids kind of, turn their nose up at JUCO offers and stuff like that. Now it's kind of the scene where a lot of these kids just want to go D1 or nothing. So, it's a lot of options. It's a lot to think about. So y'all see what Paul is saying here. He's saying that this will change as soon as others who went to JUCO start filing lawsuits to regain eligibility. Then the NCAA will have to change this rule. So, as you guys can see, this dude won his court case. He won it. He won the case and he used whatever loophole was in the lingo to get it did. His attorneys was on point. They got it did. So, and I mean, if y'all think about it, that's some real stuff. Like if you able to get you a litigation team, this could mean a ton. Like if you think about it, it's a lot of dudes in college that's getting paid way more NIL money than pro dudes getting paid on contracts on the practice squad or pretty much on the 53-man roster if they undrafted free agents. So now you got these kids that's going to be able to hop in and take advantage. They're going to be able to hop in and take advantage of this. So, man, like dude said, it's going to be like the Wild Wild West. A lot of these kids is just basically going to be up in the air. Now, I know earlier we had some questions about the NAIA eligibility. I see Coach OG, he said um, that non-JUCO years counting towards NCAA ruling is wild. Hopefully they grant NAIA players the same eligibility. With with that being said, student athletes being missed better come to the best JC in the country when it come to player development. Oh, dude done he shot his plug, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and say it. That was CSM football. See who that is. The College of San Mateo football. They say they the 2022, 2024 Nationals. Okay. All right then. Okay. All right, let's go ahead. See what we got popping now. Yeah, basically what we seeing now is that we got kids that's now thinking it's gonna apply to them, but y'all gonna have to do your own suing. I think that that's the best route if you a big time athlete, man. If you a big time athlete and you maybe spent a couple years at JUCO and you don't know how this pro bag about to be, and you know you was doing your thing on the college level, yeah, I'm getting together that legal team and I'm petitioning to get them eligibilities back. Yeah, I'm getting them years back because why? That NIL money is sick. So you might as well take advantage. If you get a good attorney that can get you that eligibility back, man, think about it. A year, another year, NIL could be another year of like 500,000, a million for some of these dudes. So I don't know, y'all. It might be worth it if you really was that dude in college, and you had a bunch of followers. Your portfolio was good. You had a bunch of NIL money coming in before you had to try to either go pro or bust. I say get on the horn with that attorney ASAP. Get them years of eligibility back. Go ahead and suit back up for your favorite university and see if you could bring that NIL money and push it a little bit longer. Maybe then take another shot at the pros, but hey, it can't hurt to get a little bit of that money back in your pocket. Okay, so Coach Josh Burton, he made a post. He said, before everyone starts panicking and rejoicing about JUCO eligibility towards 4 years and the Diego Pavia thing, here's an update from the NJCAA. To be clear, at this time, this ruling is specific to Diego Pavia and does not change the eligibility rules or status in any way for any other student, athlete at an NJCAA, NAIA, or NCAA institution. There is no question this ruling seems to create a clear path for other student athletes to follow suit and seek the same relief from the courts. However, until they do so, their status has not changed. So there y'all have it. They ain't saying they ain't gonna change the status. They said until you get some lawyers and bring it to the courts, they ain't changing nothing. So if you want to try to take the Diego route, you're gonna have to sue the people, get you a litigation team together and sue the people, which could be costly. But if you got that bread, then I mean it's an investment. The NJCAA, they went on to further say there are other possible outcomes at this point that the NJCAA continues to monitor. The NCAA could eliminate the rule altogether, as they did earlier this year in response to the injunction, preventing the NCAA from requiring a waiting period for transfer students. There's also the possibility that if and when this issue goes before the court for a final decision, the court upholds the NCAA rules and nothing changes. Alternatively, the court could find in favor of Pavia and thus change the rules for all 2-year student athletes. So basically, uh, long story short, y'all, NJCAA is basically stating that nothing has changed for all the rest of y'all. But for Diego Pavia, his court has won, and he now has all eligibility back that he spent at JUCO. So there y'all have it. They don't really know any more than we know. If the NCAA brings this up in court and they actually find a way to get this cracking, they could rule in favor, or they could tell all of y'all ain't nothing changed. Y'all should have took your chance, but like Diego took it when he took it, because now it's wrapped up. So that's something for y'all to kind of think about, take a look at, see what else we got. Oh wow, Jim Shapiro. He said 2 years of JUCO football now doesn't count against your 4 years of eligibility at the NCAA level. How about D3 years don't count towards D2 and D1 seasons? The NCAA might as well start offering 401ks and pensions. Kids is going to be in college for so long. Let's see, let me expand this post. Kids going to be in college so long they going to retire. Man, like I said, if your goal is to go pro, I don't see you standing in college until you 30. They ain't looking for no 30-year-olds coming out the gates at the NFL level, y'all. I'm just being real. Ain't no sense of us playing around. I'm going to take me a 21, 22-year-old dude at the NFL level and craft him up a little bit. I ain't taking no 30-year-old, 9-year going to school type of dudes. So I'm just saying. All right, let's see what we got. All right, so let's see. Nate Daniels, he said playing at the next level just got harder for high school seniors to be recruited with the recent ruling on JUCO eligibility. This ruling opens the door for JUCO players to retain 4 years of eligibility to play NCAA sports. High school students or high school seniors will be competing against players that have 2 years of experience at the college level, have been in college strength and conditioning programs, and high school players, you better make sure your grades are on point and you're working your tail off for your opportunity. To be honest with you, Nate, I ain't gonna lie. I really don't think working their tail off is gonna help. You either gonna be that guy coming out of high school, which when we say that guy, we talking about 4-star, 5-star. Maybe they maybe gonna shake some 3 stars in there. So that's what I think is gonna happen anyway, y'all. The high schoolers, if you ain't on the 3, 4, 5-star rankings, and everybody is on you before you even get up out of high school, like junior year, you probably already got buzzed. If you ain't one of them dudes, it don't matter how much you keep your grades up. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say this: it's just good business that these dudes are able to go and grab somebody that is 20 years old and already has been to school and understands what college is about. They understand going to class, they understand the workouts, they taller, they bigger. I mean, and it's nothing against high school athletes. I mean, 17, 18 years old, you are probably exactly where you're supposed to be when it comes to your measurables. But I'm just being real. When it comes to business, people are always going to pick more seasoned individuals. And that's across the board, not just in football and sports. We talking about companies. Like these are Fortune 500 companies out here. You'll learn whenever you get past the football stage and you start handling your business. For some of y'all, I know you're already out here handling business. You know, at 17, 18 years old, you're now having to figure out what agents you need to get, all of this stuff. So this has been like a crash course in financial literacy as well for a bunch of these athletes, which that's a whole nother story for me, y'all, because we know if you come from some at-risk homes and stuff, you really don't have the parents in the background to help you navigate this whole situation if you're a big time athlete that's maybe 4 or 5 star. You know, that's where we having a bunch of these kids um, get open to being used and taken advantage of. I'm not saying that's the case, but you know, it kind of brought that to mind with the latest Ole Miss and Mississippi mishap with Tyler Lockhart, where his mom wouldn't sign over his paperwork because he was underage. He was 17, so his mom wouldn't sign his paperwork for him to sign with Ole Miss, and he ended up having to go to Mississippi State because that's where she signed the paperwork. So that caused a big stir where, you know, people were just like, oh, his mama shouldn't have nothing to say about that. He should go where he want to go. But at the same time, y'all, this is something that's real new to all of us. NIL is something that had never been explored by any of us. Like some of the people that are out here coaching the game right now, they came from the same line of people that I was balling with that wasn't getting paid for balling, and they don't have any understanding of that. Now, what they may have some understanding of is business. You know, at the end of the day, this is still a business. So, you know, people that have some experience in marketing and running a business, they're going to be able to give you some valid advice. People that have experience in accounting and finance, they may be able to give you some valid advice, because now coming out of college at 17 and 18, if your kid is a big time recruit, he's getting all kind of offers. You got people like, think about it, Travis Hunter. You got this dude going into Colorado and some of these schools. You already know he was ranked high, he was heavily watched, and had the portfolio of followers. So you already know these people were dropping the bag for NIL deals. You already know it. So imagine you have a 17-year-old that comes from a home where, you know, mom probably working two to three jobs to try to make, you know, ends meet. So she's not able to be at the house like talking about. She got the coaches from the little leagues picking up little man, taking him to practice, getting him where he needs to be. The trainers is giving him some input. But if you don't have somebody that really has that financial literacy background, a lot of these kids can get hemmed up in these exclusivity deals and they could be stuck for years to come. Like you might end up signing, getting all hype and signing an NIL deal that locks you into your exclusivity to where you can't sell your own t-shirts. You can't sell your own shoes and stuff. You're locked into that deal. Y'all, this goes back to how, people used to say they got done in the rap game and in R&B and music industry. Like people would be happy that, some record label was rushing them because they were unknown, probably on YouTube rapping or whatever. They get some of these record labels that rush them, and then next thing you know, they hurry up and sign their name on the contract, and then they don't own none of their music rights. They getting used. We hearing all this stuff going on the blogs and everything else about how people is trying to get out of their contracts. This is the reason why parents that know something, you got to be very active in this recruiting process. And if you don't know, because I ain't knocking parents that don't know, we got some people that been through some stuff. I understand. But if that is the case, please pay enough attention to know you need to reach out to some people that might be able to help you. Y'all, this web is amazing. It can be used for more than us just gossiping and checking up on how these celebrities is doing. We need to be able to reach out to other people. If you don't have finance experience, get on Reddit, get on whatever it is you need to get on. Reach out to people that can help you understand how you need to move in these NIL engagements. Get in contact with some agents. You ain't got to sign with everybody that you reach out to and get some information and get help from. You ain't got to. You can just listen to what they say, let them know, hey, I'll get back to you. I'm going to take in all the information, talk with my parents, do what I need to do, and then I'll get back with you on how I want to proceed. It's about time that you guys start learning how to handle your business in a professional manner. You can't start, leaving people on red in the inboxes, blocking folks, doing all this crazy stuff. You got to know how to move like a business person, move like a professional. So, listen, see all your opportunities. That's the same thing I used to tell dudes in recruiting. You have a dude go in there with the mindset, I'm D1, I know I'm D1, I know I'm D1. And then he started holding his nose up to anybody that reach out and offer. Now, D1 ain't reached out to you yet, but you holding your nose up and you up here not reaching out to the D2 dudes or the D3 or NAIA dudes that reach out and show some love. Do you have to sign with those dudes? No, you do not have to sign with those dudes, but you can still be professional. Let these dudes know, hey, I want to hear what y'all have to say about y'all program. If you're not interested, you can let them know you're not interested. If you want to think it over a little bit, think it over and then get back with them. This is the same type of stuff you have to do when you grown and you navigating the work industry. This is just my advice as a seasoned adult that's been out here in the game. I'm just giving y'all free game, no cost. Ever since I've been in the work industry, there have been multiple people. You go on multiple different interviews. I have never not called a person back. I have never stood somebody up because I was like, oh, they ain't paying enough over there. The salary looking low. I ain't never did that. I hear the people out. If I don't think the opportunity is for me, I thank them for their time and I let them know it's, at this time that opportunity is not for me, so I'm going to be looking into something else, but I really appreciate the time that you all spent with me and I love that investment and I'm glad y'all took a chance on me. There's just ways for y'all to do things a little bit more professionally. I think a lot of I don't know, the streets or whatever done hit sports. So y'all thinking it's cute a lot of the times to be out here thugging it. But you need to have some clear thought process. And I'm telling y'all this straight up. You need to be able to think very clearly when you talking about a bag. It ain't nothing. You don't need to be blasting no music, throwing up gang signs. You don't need to be trapping. You don't need to have your little boo thing in your ear. You don't need none of that. You need to get real focused I'm telling you, you need to get. Look, wait, let me find the camera. You need to get real focused when you talking about your bag. So I'm just letting y'all know. If y'all stepping out of high school right now and you a 4 or 5 star recruit and you going to a school, please, please, please take this seriously. You need, if you can't go to your parents or your trainer or your mentor, your coach, high school coach, if you don't trust any of those people to give you logical information and advice on your finances and stuff, you need to find somebody that can. That's real, just real talk. Let me just go and see if we got some more stuff, y'all. I'll get off on a rant because I'm just real passionate about helping these kids navigate stuff. I hate to see anybody get used and taken advantage of. So, you know, and above all, we hate to see young adults and kids get taken advantage of. In sports, being an athlete, I played D1 ball. I know one of the things that's rampant is mental health issues. So, a lot of kids I would see, if they didn't make it pro or they didn't know, what they were going to do after college, after they didn't, shot that ball, or even some of them after high school, you had a lot of people turn into addictions. You had a lot of people turn into suicide. So that's something that I'm real passionate about, just helping athletes. Any athletes that I've ever dealt with, they know when it came to recruiting or anything, I've gave freely of my time. I've recorded footage. I've done whatever I can do because at the end of the day, I do want to see these young men and these young women get to the next level and get an opportunity to chase their dreams. I mean, because let's not forget, this is about being a student first and foremost. Like, if these kids can utilize their talents to get a leg up in the work industry, I think that's worth it at the end of the day. You get a degree, these are kids that's going to get, maybe 10 to 20K more out of their salary deals or negotiations. So that's just something that I'm passionate about. With that being said, any any high school or college guys, I've just started up my sports agency group with Aaron Brendelson. We're in business with Stronghold Sports Agency. So if you guys do have, any questions or anything, most of the time, we just deal with contract negotiations and stuff like that. So if you do have some questions about recruiting or you just genuinely need some help, I've never been the kind of person to turn anybody away. I'm always here to help people. That's why I got in the game. That's why, I'm here. I like to believe that's why God still has me here on this earth, is to give back to people and to help people. So with that being said, if you guys do, if you're on the stream and you do have any questions or anything like that, feel free to jump in my DMs at any time. Shoot me a message, and I'll try to answer it. I'll try to get answers for you if I don't know it. I'll try to connect you with any connections that I might have to try to further your goals. But yeah, I feel like all of us as human beings, we need to try to help each other out. So look, y'all, they got jokes. They got somebody uncle out here dressed up as a like a Bronco, but he a gator. He a gator. Must gotta be them Florida boys, right? Yeah, they going in. Ooh, it's crazy. Is that Arizona? The Arizona Christian University? Look like it. Let me see. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit, y'all. Oh, okay. I think that's ACU. I love that these JUCO boys still posting their game film. They ain't gave up. No matter what the ruling is, baby. They like, why y'all here talking about this JUCO situation? Go ahead, click on the huddle link, watch my film. Get Unc up out of there. Oh no, nah, we ain't finna have Marcus Golden. You better get on up there to that NFL draft and get that popping. That's crazy. I know a guy over at Vandy playing running back Cedric Alexander Jr. He been a stellar running back for Vandy. So it's just crazy to see that this guy QB about to get him a whole nother year, baby. Whole nother year of education, whole nother year of playing football. Man, this kid living the dream. Well, with that said, y'all, I gotta get up off of here. I got to go and get me some dinner and everything. It's pretty dark out here where I am. It's about 7:36 p.m. So yeah, I'm gonna get me some dinner. Be tuning in again for another stream. I usually go live on YouTube and Twitch for the most part, but I'm gonna try to expand that. Try to do a little bit more talk on sports. I also do a bunch of stuff with gaming too, because I mean y'all sleeping on esports, but esports is a huge thing. I mean, a lot of these kids don't even know, man. If you got some skills on Fortnite or Call of Duty, League of Legends, any of that type of stuff, if you got some skills, Apex Legends, you got some skills, you can be petitioning for you a scholarship at some of these SEC schools just to be on the esports team playing video games. So yeah, you can get a scholarly just for playing video games now at the universities. So don't sleep on it. I'm going to be doing and covering a lot of that on my channel. Sports, whether that be football or esports, because I'm a big time gamer. I love gaming. For the parents that said it'll rot your kids' brains out, I guess anything you do in moderation is fine because I play video games still. I love them. I'm a software engineer, still out here building, grinding, motivated to try to be better at life and a better person. So the video games ain't ruined me yet, y'all. So with that in mind, I'm going to tell y'all have a great rest of the night. Thank you for tuning in to the stream. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow if y'all here so y'all can get notifications. Hit that bell if you're on YouTube, just so y'all can get more notifications whenever I go live. And yeah, I appreciate y'all joining. Until next time, peace.